And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Soma ARah from Ireland. She is a Pleiadian and Lyran starseed hybrid channel and UFO abductee with a profound mission to assist humanity during this era of Ascension. She returned today to talk about Ascension, where we are now, and where we are going. Soma, welcome back. It's great to have you again.
Thank you, Jeff. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, really.
Well, it's my honor to have you. And I want to start with this. I'm assuming Soma ARah is not your birth-given name. How did you get that name?
That was given to me in 2019. I was outside. There was a lot going on in the world, and I personally was very anxious, and I went outside to meditate, and I was stood up with my forehead on a tree, meditating, and I was given the name Soma, believe it or not, actually from the tree. And then I went upstairs and I Googled what it meant. And then while I was doing that, I was given the name ARah. As I was typing Soma, I was given the name ARah by my guides. So then I Googled that and discovered that Soma is a sacred drink or elixir in India. And that ARah means to rise up. So it's those two meanings really resonate with me, and that is part of my mission. So it's it fits perfectly.
So when you were given these names, do you hear them or does it come to you like a download?
Well, both, because when I get downloads and transmissions, I do hear them telepathically. I always have, since I was a child. So it is a telepathic transmission or download. And I'm able to connect in with different, not just the Pleiadians, but I'm also able to connect in with plants and animals and trees and spirit and guides, both mine and other people's, and also people that have passed away that are, I used to work for a charity based in America called findme2.com. So there's a whole section there of missing people, which I don't really do nowadays, but it is, going back to your question, I'm sorry, it is a telepathic download. I also get images as well. When I'm channeling, I get a stream of telepathic information. And I also get images these days that contain different information too. So I have to be very, it's almost like I've got two different streams of information coming in at the same time. So I have to, because I've been doing it for so long, I'm able to do that. Whereas when I began to channel, I was just literally taking dictation. And I would be typing away as they were speaking.
You were on about 6 months ago, but some people may be meeting you for the first time today. And I believe you channel about 4 times a week. So what are some of the latest updates that have been revealed to you in the last 6 months, and what's going on with the planet and where are we going?
We've made vast leaps forward in our ascension process, which enables us, humanity, to bring in more light, more frequency, more energy, more vibration, which affects the 3D in what a thank you, in what appears to be a negative way, but rather these things have always existed and are coming to the surface to be exposed, to be let go of, to be released. So one of the there's many subcategories of what we've said over the last 6 months, but the biggest thing that really has occurred on your planet in the last year is that you've taken a huge evolutionary leap forward, and you do it in stages and processes. It's not a one-time leap forward. It occurs in repetitiveness, in consistency. So you've been taking small leaps and small leaps, but this last year, thank you, you've taken a huge leap forward in moving forward in your human evolutionary, which is a very physical thing. You are moving into a crystalline human being, and your DNA, your skin, your blood, your hair, your teeth, your cells are changing and moving into a crystalline human being. What's happened over the last year is that you have fast-tracked this within the last year, so everything is heightened. And those that are in a higher frequency energy vibration are really in that. And those that are operating on the opposite spectrum are really in that as well. So, and also we'd like to add that thank you. The negative situations that have been reported or information is coming to light about negative situations on your planet has always been there. It's just that now this information has been released in order to have it removed, have it dissolve is a perfect word, so that you can move forward even more. Because the scales, that is what's happening energetically, the scales are shifting from a lower frequency, which was in place very strongly on your planet, and now this is happening energetically in terms of human evolution. And when we break it down, some of the things that we've been saying to Soma regarding things that we understand sound crazy. They are so, because, thank you, and they sound crazy because they are so far from what you have been taught to believe as a collective.
Let me stop you for one moment. Are you channeling currently right now? Am I speaking to the channel or am I speaking to Soma?
Both. But we are channeling.
Okay, I wasn't really sure if you had to prepare, but it appears that you just automatically went into channel mode. Who am I speaking with besides Soma?
ASHTAR.
ASHTAR. ASHTAR, you're an ET?
Some would call me that. I am a spokesperson for, in terms of to explain in terms of your language, for your audience to understand, I am a spokesperson from the Pleiadian star system, and I speak on behalf of the Pleiadian collective. And I am known as ASHTAR, Commander-in-Chief or Chief Commander.
Do ETs run this planet?
And many others.
What do you mean by that, many others?
What you call ETs absolutely do run your planet, and have been doing, did invade you at the time of the downfall of Atlantis, which is why the downfall occurred in Atlantis. Your universe is teeming with life. So when we say others, we also mean that the planets, star systems, suns, moons, many places are habitable to many different races. You are not the only species in the universe. Your universe is teeming with life. And life has been created not only by us, but also by Syrian, Andromedan, Acturians, and thousands of other alien races. ETs, human ET, humanity. That is not a coincidence that those words sound exactly the same and yet are spelt differently. Human ET, humanity.
Are you saying that the Pleiadians and other species of ETs created humans?
Absolutely.
Did you create them from the local ape population and modify them to what we are today, or something else?
You could say that. The monkeys and apes, or that species, came before human, and they were the monkey apes species were adapted in order to be a progressive. They helped to create humans. Let us put it that way.
You mentioned Atlantis earlier. So you probably changed humans into whatever was living on Atlantis long before Atlantis was created.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had this great civilization of Atlantis, and then some other ET race invaded the earth and destroyed Atlantis. Why?
Because their energy is different, because their planet was, due to war, was made inhabitable, and they needed to seek out a new home, a new foundation, a new shelter. They traveled for quite some time before they came across your planet. And they were above the earth, watching, planning, waiting for quite some time before they eventually, before they felt the time was perfect. And as they were above the earth, they were drawing up plans and plans and situations to invade, to overtake, to overthrow the humanity on the earth at the time, which was Atlantis and Atlanteans. There was some trust within them. We're from the Atlanteans once they landed. But they always had a plan, a mission of a negative agenda to overthrow Atlantis. There was a contract drawn up between us and this species, and also others such as Syrian and Lyran. This contract allowed this species to have ownership, for want of a better word, over your planet. And this contract has now null and void and been torn up. It is not. We gave them a space of time to conduct themselves. This has now ended and null and void. This, Soma would say that this was a mistake on our part. However, the negative agenda has allowed humanity to ascend. You would not be in ascension without the negative agenda on your planet. So that is why, that is one of the main reasons, and this is new information to Soma. In this way, we haven't worded it in this way previously, but we allowed the negative agenda to rule your planet for so long, because we understood, we were able to see far into the future at the time of the outcome, and that these negative ET energies were essential, to instigating and the process of ascension. You would not be in ascension if it were not for the negative agenda.
So are the Pleiadians going to assist us in some sort of war with these negative ETs to banish them from this planet, and then we can ascend?
These negative ETs, there is so much to all of your questions. We are there is more information than we could possibly give you in this one channeling, but we will say that the planet, in your planet, in January, February 2020, there was a huge intense energy that was hitting your planet at that time, and it caused the Earth to, it was so intense, it caused the Earth to not split and divide, but multiply into two Earths. This positive Earth is raising in frequency as you are, and this lower frequency Earth vibration would stay where it was or drop into an even lower energy frequency. This is how this is possible, where the divide is growing. You see the divide of people on your planet, with not just the awareness and information, but also the energy of people are polarities apart. This is also because of this event where the two Earths were split and divided. So this group of negative beings will drop into an even lower frequency, and the two will eventually completely disengage, depart, and detangle, and be completely separate from one another. However, they will never be separate from Source.
What is the race of these negative ETs? Are they reptilian or something else?
We would call them reptilian. But there are many races closely related to each other. That look similar, that have similar energies. For example, humans and monkeys or apes. Also, humans and us. Your universe is teeming with life. There is life everywhere. Everywhere. There is even life on Mars. There is even life on the moon, or what you call the moon. Both have underground spaces. Both have beings that live there, a multitude of beings that live there, not just on Mars and the moon, but they also are both using technology to transport themselves around the galaxy, around the universe.
When the initial war happened in Atlantis, what kind of destruction happened to this planet that is still noticeable today?
Oh. so many evidences on your earth of destruction. Your earth was a very different than it is now before the downfall of Atlantis, as humanity was more in alignment with itself. Not only did these reptilian negative ET races invade you, but they changed certain aspects about your planet. They changed certain aspects to do with your DNA. So your awareness, your abilities, your ability to channel us and others like us was diminished greatly, almost overnight. In fact, it was overnight. Your bodies used to live much longer. During some of the wars, or even before the wars, or during periods of stillness. When we say wars, we are showing, thank you, we are showing Soma an image of warring UFOs and technology used by both the positive and negative in order to many things, some aspects of the things that we could mention. We would very much like to go into more detail. We are kind of keeping the questions eliminating information is the wrong word, but we feel that we would like to go into this in more detail, maybe at a later stage or even behind the scenes. What we are showing Soma now is an image we've often shown her before, where there are many secrets and hidden truths kept from you. One of them being to do with Antarctica, one of them being to do with the underground tunnels beneath your earth. These tunnels were created, caves were created long ago, spaces, cities, caverns, large crevices, underground spaces that were created in order to humanity to find refuge at the time of some of these galactic wars between warring alien races, positive and negative. So humanity created spaces underneath the earth in order to protect themselves, in order to survive, to not go extinct. There is much evidence of this. Great cities, great tunnels, caverns, caves that are able to house thousands and thousands of human beings. There is also evidence of fossilized giants, fossilized trees. The remains of these giants are being discovered, as well as, which we understand, we were speaking to Soma of this earlier this morning, of the dragon energy. Dragons were physical on your planet. They were very real beings. We said this is one of the informations we gave her between now and the last 6 months, where she has been many upgrades, not just her, but all starseeds have been upgraded, all channelers have been upgraded. You have been upgraded. So many of you are here to be upgraded. And the dragon, and one of the things we shared with her during this period of the last 6 months is that dragons were real, living on your planet in a very real way. And Jesus, who is one of us, being Pleiadian, had dragons. Ownership is the wrong word, because they were more family. Thank you. They were more family. We've never quite used that word family before to do with dragons and Jesus, but that's how it was. And so we understand, and Soma understands how crazy, how ridiculous this information would sound to someone who's operating over here on the um, energy of being not wanting to wake up to some of your truths. Thank you. And yet there have recently been discoveries of not forgive Soma, she said dinosaurs and she meant to say dragons. However, that is not such a coincidence or slip of the tongue. Thank you. As we often work in this way with her, where she goes to say something and something else will come out. Dinosaurs and dragons were more or less the same thing. That is how thank you. That is how the negative agenda has gotten away with hiding dragons, because they classified them as dinosaurs. We've never quite said it this way before through this one, Soma, but dinosaurs were, you can replace the word dinosaurs with the word dragons, and it is more or less the same thing. They are in plain sight and yet disguised as something slightly different to the original dragons, but they are more or less the same thing.
If you look at northern Africa, much of it is just desert. Is that due to some type of war?
Absolutely.
What happened?
Technology was used to claim ownership. This is a great galactic war that has many episodes, many parts in your history. Atlantis just being one particular category. Your Earth, your planet, was shifted off its natural axis at the time of Atlantis. Deliberately, your Earth was shifted because the negative agenda knew that in doing that, not only would it have a negative effect on the Earth and the Earth's frequency that is a living, breathing energy within itself. The Earth is alive with trees and plants and nature and oceans and animals and birds and insects. The Earth is not a dead object spinning in space. The Earth is alive, as are other planets, suns, stars, moons. Everything in the universe has life. It is not dead planets that are without energy, frequency, sound, movement, vibration. The Earth is a living organism within herself. And it was shifted off its natural axis partly in order to shift humanity off her natural axis, alongside the manipulation of DNA with humanity, in order for them to forget who they were. The veil of amnesia was placed around the Earth, and that is also shifting. You were asking, thank you, you were asking about the section of North Africa, and that section, when you look directly at a map of the Earth, that was part of the war between light and dark, or positive and negative, alien and loving alien ET races, where advanced technology was used in order to wipe out whole sections of humanity, to eradicate sacred temples, thank you, sacred buildings, and as well as humanity. There was a vast area of objects, a vast area of giants, a vast area of everything was operating within that area at the time, and it was wiped out. It was wiped out almost overnight with technology. Some of these technologies are more evidently resulted in the NASCAR lines.
The Nazca lines? Because they just look like animals or something if you look at them from space.
These were created partly to remind you, to wake you up. They are star maps. They are evidence of a higher evolved species that once walked on your planet. And when we say that, we mean we include us. We built the pyramids. We did not do this alone.
For what reason?
The pyramids are what you would call a energy generating battery. Some of the information that you were asking earlier about what is the new information that we've given Soma, and this is one of them. She always likes to, Soma always, thank you, Soma always likes to date her channelings because this is important to her. Integrity and transparency, thank you, transparency with our channelings. But the information that we shared perhaps 6 months ago or less was that there would be a discovery of beneath Egypt. And then literally 2-3 weeks later, it was announced the great discoveries, the recent discoveries beneath Egypt. But Egypt was, the pyramids were an energy device, a battery. Egypt has vast underground spaces, caves, caverns, centers, as do all of your sacred sites across your planet. Stonehenge, Newgrange, many of all of the sacred sites have underground spaces on them, places.
So would you say that there is an ongoing war between ETs to control this planet?
Absolutely.
And it's between the Pleiadians and the reptilians or other ones?
It includes everything within the universe, even ones that are not directly involved. Their energy is still involved. So this war is between reptilian, it is between us, it is Pleiadian, it is between Syrian, it is between Lyran, it is between different positive and negative species that created humanity in their likeness. That helped to build Egypt.
If we go outside and look at the sky, we don't see UFOs battling each other. So how is this war taking place?
That is a very good point. There was a time on your planet when these wars were visible, absolutely visible. The UFOs were visible. The downfall of Atlantis. There have been gaps in your history where these wars were visible and have been recorded onto art. Some of the technology that was used at the downfall of the some of the technology that was used to do with North Africa and that whole section, and also the NASCAR lines, looks to Soma. She's often seen this, and it looks like a very tall baton that has that is technology that has an on and off switch, and different levels of that. So you can turn it on slightly and turn it off completely, and then you can increase the intensity of it. So the wars were not, the technology, depending on humanity's frequency at the time throughout history, sometimes it has been very visible and very obvious and has been recorded, not just on hieroglyphics, but also within art, within biblical text, within other texts as well, and within cave drawings and depicted in art. So there are many recordings of UFOs down through your ages who are at war, and depending on the frequency of the planet, which is a huge aspect to the ability of humanity's awareness and what it sees or perceives as reality to be. There are different levels of consciousness, with different beings residing in different dimensions. And there is so nowadays some of you are able to see these wars and technology such as UFOs because you are operating on a higher frequency. If you were on a lower frequency, like some of your brothers and sisters that are unawake and unaware operating over here, they do not see them because they are speaking a different language of frequency. It is not in their perception. It is always in existence, always, but it is out of their scope of seeability. They're not able to see it. It is not in their energy. It is not in their frequency, in their awareness, in their vibration, in order to be able. It is like they have glasses or sunglasses on and are not able to see how the fullness. Thank you. Not able to see the fullness of the sun.
So are you saying that our frequency is so low now that we can't even be aware of the war happening, or we can't visually see it?
Your frequency is a very individual thing, because, and this is a complex subjects that you're asking. It is not a simple yes or no. There are some that are operating. Okay, thank you. Let us just give you an example, a very good example that will kind of sum up more or less. So if you imagine a radio station and you're all operating on individual different band waves, different energy waves, individually even, as well as groups of you, and the ones that are over here at this spectrum are not able to see what is outside of the spectrum, whereas the ones over here have a much greater understanding, a much greater awareness, a much greater capacity and acceptance to expand their own awareness, to partake in the ascension process. This is predominantly due to you being different. This group over here of what we call starseeds, what Soma calls starseeds, your DNA is different, which allows you to have belief systems of ETs, belief systems of UFO craft, belief systems of so many different subjects. And all in between, that you could even class this as different species, disguised as a human collective, humanity collectively. There are different species amongst you that look very similar. We have most definitely blended into your planet and exist upon it and live as humans. We exist not just on our star system, but we exist on your planet. Your governments are well aware of us. And then there is many different species in between. There is also this lower is the wrong word, but we always struggle with the English language to find words that accurately as much as we possibly can to describe things. But these energies over here, you could call them a different species to the starseeds, or these energies over here, because they are different species that all look the same within the umbrella of humanity. There are many different races within humanity that appear to be the same. The blood types is thank you. The rhesus negative blood type is a very strong stamp, signal, sign that you have our DNA in your blood. Humanity as a whole has many different DNA traits from many different positive and negative alien beings. Your royal families, for example, are reptilian beings. Let us pause there.
Do you mean all royal families on the planet are from these beings?
The original royal families were taken out and replaced by reptilian or other negative ET races. We would say the reptilian. And this occurred around the 14th century.
Are the ETs controlling the governments of this planet? In some way, directly or indirectly?
The downfall of Atlantis, you were invaded by reptilian ET energy, a reptilian species. We understand how crazy this may sound to some people. We really understand that. And we have empathy and sympathy for this. However, here we are, 2025. The systems on your planet were created by these negative reptilian energies, species. They've created all systems on your planet. Politics, money, every system is owned by or run by, at the very top level, run by negative reptilian energies. We would like to add that this is an end of an era. It is an epic time to be on your planet. Such great shifts, monumental discoveries, shifts are occurring right now in your lifetime. You are, as starseeds. You heard there was a call that was put out into the universe thousands of years ago. And you heard this call, and you came in as a cosmic being into a physical body in your lifetime now. You've had many lifetimes on Earth that have been a training ground to bring you to where you are now. There is a technology that is used on a higher dimension that is placed into your physical bodies. It is the same technology that is used by us, Pleiadian loving ETs. It is also the same technology is used by the reptilian energies. This is similar to what you would call a tracking device. It tracks you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. Since the days of Atlantis, it has tracked you, your soul, imprint, energy, blueprint, individuality of your soul. It has tracked and traced you. It is a recording device that was created eons ago, and many different what you call alien races have this technology. We have been using it, and so have the reptilian, in order to track and trace the ones who were in Atlantis are the ones who are on your planet now as starseeds. They have used this tracking device because your energy is different. You are starseeds. You had lifetimes in Atlantis, and they needed to know who you were, where you were, what you were doing. You have been, and thank you, since the downfall of Atlantis, you have had lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. From Atlantis to, there's so many groups of sacred people that we could mention. The Native Americans, the Celtic, the Irish, the African, the Aborigine, the Maori, the travelers, the gypsies, even Soma's looking for the name. The ones that live in the igloos.
The Eskimos.
Thank you. There's so many different sacred people. The Romans, the pagans, the witch trials, the crusades, over and 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 over again. This pattern, this repetitiveness even, is something that has been occurring since the downfall of Atlantis. And yet here you are, powerful beings, having the most profound experience on your planet now, where you get to, because of your DNA. Your DNA contains our DNA, contains Syrian DNA, contains Arcturus, Andromedan, Lyran, and so many others that you have not even yet heard of. And we include Soma. There is so much to be revealed to you, so much to come for you. This year, there will be massive shifts forward. The Earth is shifting back onto her natural axis. There will be events that will change your planet forever.
Well, it sounds like a big event is coming in the near future that we've prepared for lifetime after lifetime. For whatever's coming, what should we do extra to prepare?
Stay in love. Be love. Send love. Give love. Receive love. The energy of the Christ consciousness, Yeshua or Jesus, whichever name you give him. He is one of us. Carry that energy. And when your neighbors need help, when they need food, when they need shelter, when they need water, give that freely. Give that willingly. Give that with love. Provide shelter for those in need, should they ever need it. You are brothers and sisters. You are our children. We created you in our likeness. And yet you were invaded by the most darkest evil of energies that exist in the universe. There are dark things on your planet that is hard to accept.
Do you have
and yet here we are.
Do you have an emergency message for humanity right now?
We've been saying it for some time. We love your question. Prepare for the worst. Hope for the best. Create a good stock of food, clean water, supply, a backup of food, a backup of water, a backup of electricity, a backup of batteries, a backup of candles, a backup of whatever you may need in times of emergency. Your planet is shifting. This is recorded by pilots and their technology that they fly in, the aeroplanes and the systems and the dashboards. The dials have had to be readjusted because the Earth is shifting back onto her natural axis. You will see on your planet over the last 20 years, there have been eruptions, there have been volcanoes, there have been earthquakes, there have been tsunamis, there have been hurricanes.
What will cause more damage to planet Earth physically? The shift or some sort of world war?
It is a probability that World War III is upon you. Do not step into fear. Step into love. When you do that, you change your reality individually and collectively. You are part of the collective and you have an impact, an imprint on the energy of the collective. Gather now. We've been saying this for some time, but collect, gather, prepare food and water so you have these supplies should a natural disaster or a created disaster or war should coincide and happen all appearing to happen all at the same time accidentally. A natural disaster during a World War III. So gather your food, prepare food, water, have an emergency supplies.
Are the ETs creating new human hybrid beings in case they have to repopulate the planet? And if so, are they going to be upgrades from what we are today?
This has already happened. The starseeds are an upgrade of humanity. Your DNA was devolved at Atlantis. And yet here you are as starseeds to ascend into a new human being. So this is a process that has gone up and down like a graph. There are advancements to come, absolutely, in the crystalline human being. You are part of this process.
What do you mean crystalline human being? I don't understand that.
We are you from the future. We time travel. We came from our future into your past to create you. We did this during the building of the pyramids and the Sphinx in Egypt.
I guess when I think of a crystalline human being, it sounds something that's so solid, like a crystal.
You are moving it. So the crystalline human being is moving, is a human being that has moved into a higher evolutionary physicality. So your bodies are changing very physically. your skin, your blood, your hair, your teeth, your DNA, your cells are evolving into a more crystalline human being. Meaning, and what that means is that you are moving into a higher dimension, a higher space of being. There are many dimensions, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, going right up. It is infinite, even, until you get to God's source. It is a Soma sees it as being layers of perhaps different colors. That is a good example to share with your audience. It is a bar, a grid system of different colors. We have a lot of blue in ours, in our auric fields, in our, even the clothes that we wear, in our energy, and in our eyes are the brightest blue. So going back to your question, the crystalline human being is moving into, thank you. So a very good example, thank you. A very good example we could give you is also of the dragons, of the unicorns as well, also of the giants, also of the what else? That is enough for now. So all these species came upon a time in your history where they had a choice to make. They could either evolve or become extinct, which is more or less the same that is happening to humanity. You have a choice to become extinct or move into a period of evolution, or you can replace that word with ascension. So what is occurring now is you are choosing to ascend, you are choosing to move forward, you are choosing to move into a higher dimension, a higher frequency of consciousness, which is what the dragons, the and other beings did as well, in order to still exist on a higher frequency and to not go extinct. They moved into a higher dimension, including, we'd like to add, including fairies, elves, nature spirits, and those types of elemental beings. So the human body is changing into a crystalline. It is moving from the third, fourth, fifth, and moving up the evolutionary chain, which goes right to God's source or divine source, which you call God. We operate between the seventh and higher frequencies dimensions.
It appears that there are more people on planet Earth than ever, like 8 billion. Are all of these people here to witness this great event?
Let us, before we move on to this question, let us just add that, to give another example, when one of your loved ones dies, they move into the spirit world. This is what is also called a higher dimension of the astral plane, which is a higher dimension. So your your loved ones, your families, your loved ones that pass away do not die and their existence ends. Existence never ends, it just changes form. So that is also an example we could give of what is happening to humanity. They are moving into a higher bodiless form eventually. And part of this process is known as, to Soma, the crystalline human being, where you are moving into a more crystalline body. You are going from the physical into the spirit. This is a good example. So please repeat your question.
There are 8 billion people on the planet. Is there so many people here because they're all here to witness this big event?
Yes. But the star seeds are the ones such as you and Soma and many of your audience. The star seeds are the ones that are not just here to witness, because all of humanity is here to witness this great galactic event that affects everything in the universe. The ascension is not limited to your planet. How could it possibly ever be? The ascension affects us, affects all planets, all alien races, all life, all stars, all suns, all moons, all planets. The ascension process is not restricted or limited to Earth. It is an ascension of everything that exists.
So it's a universal ascension?
Absolutely, absolutely. And all humanity is here to witness it. However, the star seeds amongst you, which are the real stars, there is not a coincidence that the Hollywood has stars. This phrase has been hijacked and inverted, whereas the name or word starseeds has a great galactic meaning. And these are the ones that came. These are the chosen ones, all ones that chose themselves. At the same time, you were chosen, and yet you chose yourself. You heard the call that was put out into the universe that Earth needs help. Humanity needs help. And you replied, and you answered, and you chose to be on Earth because you are the strongest of the strongest. You are galactic warriors. You've had lifetimes in DNA on other DNA and other planets, other suns, other stars, other moons. So you are here not just to bear witness. Bearing witness is for the normal humanity, the ones that do not have that extra DNA, the ones that are not starseeds. So the starseeds are here to activate, thank you, activate their energy fields, activate their voices, activate their food, water, air, soil, activate their DNA, activate their healing codes, which we put in to you as starseeds. Starseeds have an extra, this is essential information that we're giving. And it was essential that we put into starseeds an extra set of DNA codes that are very specific to starseeds. This guarantees the positive outcome of ascension that you did not have at the time of Atlantis. That was partly our mistake. We looked back and we could see what had happened, and that had you had these extra set of codes at the downfall of Atlantis, the invasion of Atlantis, you would have taken a different route. However, there is something to be said for the negative agenda, because they have ignited within you a great uprising of ascension of humanity that would not be in existence if they were not in existence on your planet. Let
ASHTAR.
us say that. Let us just very quickly say that again. Your ascension would not be in existence itself if it were not for the negative agenda, who has their own part to play in helping you to rise up.
ASHTAR, due to time, I want to ask Soma a couple questions before we go. So I want to thank you for joining us today and assisting us with this conversation.
Thank you, Jeff.
Soma, I believe you're going to be part of the Full Disclosure Now conference in July. Is that true? And if so, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm absolutely going to be there. I'm doing a very short talk, and then I'll be doing a Pleiadian channeling, a live Pleiadian channeling, and that's in Full Disclosure Now conference in July from the 15th to the 18th. Very much looking forward to being part of that. And what a great event to be able to be at. I'm also going to be planning to do readings there as well, and Pleiadian channelings for people individually. But I'm very much looking forward to it.
Well, if people want to contact you, do you have a website?
My website is somaarah.love. I have several things that are now and in the pipeline that I'm doing. So I have my weekly groups on a Saturday and a Sunday, 7 p.m. Irish time, where I do channel the Pleiadians. And these groups are free for people to join. Donations are always welcome. And I have an Atlantis Rising workshop coming up, probably in August or September, which will be online. I haven't put that info yet up on my website, but I will be doing that over the next couple of weeks. My Substack is my main social media because it is the only one that I'm not censored on or shadow banned or censored. All the others I am. So if you want to find my work without in its entirety, that is where you can find me on Substack, Soma ARah. I'm also on all the others like YouTube and Rumble, Facebook.
Well, Soma, before we finish up, can you give us a last positive message?
You have our DNA running through your veins. You are part of the universe itself. You are part of God. You are part of Jesus. You carry extraterrestrial blood through rhesus negative blood type, through DNA, through memory, through cells, through past lives. You are not alone in your universe. You are not alone on Earth. You are never alone. You do not even come from Earth. You have been placed, planted, or chosen to be there. You are much grander, much more divine than you are aware of at this time. There are great discoveries to come on your planet, some of it devastating. But it is, and we would like to remind you that it is, the light gets in where the cracks are. It is through trauma, devastation, and destruction where great light gets in. So the darker it may seem, the greater the light that is able to penetrate into that. It is a changing of the guard. All systems on your planet are being removed, replaced with more loving energies. Some of you are aware that that's happening in the political What appears to be dark is actually light, and what appears to be light is actually dark. Often. We love you. You are us. We are from the future. Not only did you help us build the pyramids, but you were us. You are us. We are. Our DNA is your DNA. We are a blend. We are a mixture.
Soma and ASHTAR, thank you for your message, and thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.